Hey everyone, I'm James.
And I'm Mary. Welcome to another episode of the Watch That Joan podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes. The last episode of The House of Dragons, season 2.
Honestly, I'm
Right.
not mad at it. Your girl is tired.
Yeah, it's been 8 episodes that we've been faithfully releasing every week. So yeah, we've been doing this 2 months straight. But we do it because we love it and it's fun, and we love you guys, our listeners.
That's
so
strong words. But yes. No, I'm kidding. We do love you guys, and we appreciate you guys tuning in every week. And if you don't tune in every week, we don't appreciate you.
that is facts. That is facts.
So yeah. But
All right.
I guess starting first, I always want to talk about bullshit. How was your weekend? If you had any
the weekend
plans,
was-
if you don't have any plans, then we could just.
Yeah, no, I don't have any real plans.
No, I meant if you had any plans, like if you did anything last weekend.
Oh, okay. No, not really. We kind of stayed in the
Oh
house.
no, you was Dominican
That's what we
on
did.
Thursday.
Oh yeah, I was Dominican.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Aventura concert when they came to Oklahoma City.
Tell them what they said to you when they saw you in the crowd.
So Romeo Santos, right? He's the lead singer for Aventura.
Romeo is from
Um,
Aventura?
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys saw Romeo before.
Yes, we saw
performing
Romeo
solo.
before. Yes.
Oh, I thought they were two separate things. Okay.
No. He's the lead singer for Aventura, and then he went to be a solo artist.
He did the Beyonce.
Like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay,
like
okay.
Beyonce.
So, okay, out of the group, do you know who's the Kelly and who's the Michelle? Or do you not know
Well,
them
he's-
well enough?
The Kelly. Well, which one's better, Kelly or Michelle?
Kelly.
Kelly,
Not
yeah.
because Kelly she's a little awkward, and sometimes she don't be hitting her dads. Not Kelly. Michelle is a little awkward, and sometimes she'll mess up the choreography and not hit her steps. Voice is incredible, but Kelly is a little more smooth. So if
Yeah,
you
I
were to
think
rank
it's-
it would be Beyonce, Kelly, Michelle.
I can't remember his name,
Okay.
but every time he was singing solo, they kind of got out of it. They was not
The
accepting it at
crowd
all.
wasn't feeling it.
They wasn't feeling it.
That reminds me
And-
of when in the Olympics with men's basketball, whenever Embiid has the ball, Paris boos him.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't understand because I'm like, he's not French. Like, isn't he Cameroonian? I know they speak French, but he's not French.
Yeah, I think he could have played for France because he's Cameroonian. I think they have.
He don't want to play for his colonizers.
Yeah, I guess so. It's true. But anyway, at the concert, right? Romeo was singing, doing his thing, and he looked right at me and was like, "Hey, big man, where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from Philly." He's like, "Are you Latino?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm just black." And I kind of like point to my wrist. All the while, Eileen is flagging the Dominican flag like crazy all next to me. And he's like, okay, cool. You drinking? And then the dude in front of me, he had a beer, and he turned around and gave it to me. I kind of held it up so you could see it. He was like, all right. Thanks for coming out. And he started singing. So it was hilarious.
So, was the beer the dude in front of you gave you, was it open?
Yeah, I didn't drink it.
Oh,
I just
okay.
held it
I
up.
had to check.
No,
All right. So
no.
you nicely passed it back to that nice man.
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Yeah. But it was a blast.
That's cool.
It was a blast. He saw me because I was like a foot taller than everyone there, and we was like in the 5th row from the front or something crazy.
If you
So,
would have said you were Latino, do you think he would have started speaking Spanish to you, and then you would have been a fraud?
this man didn't attempt to speak Spanish to me. He's been speaking Spanish the entire night, and it turned up to me, and he's like, "Hey, big man."
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think if you would have said that you were Latino, he would have spoke Spanish to you.
I know that would have been terrible.
Yeah, that would have been very embarrassing. I mean, you could be a Spanish person who don't know Spanish. I know a bunch of them.
Yeah, which is more embarrassing.
But all right. So let's finally get into the episode. So this episode starts off in Essos, and automatically I can tell that there's a little extra sauce on this episode. Like it's so much CGI and like special effects and lighting. It looks like I'm playing a video game. Like it looks like I'm playing Uncharted for the PS4.
No, you're right. Uncharted or
Assassin's Creed.
no, absolutely. Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed.
yeah. Essos,
You know, I was thinking about Prince of Persia.
yes. Oh my God, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time.
The Sands of Time. That thing slapped.
So good. They need
so
to
good.
remaster that. Because I don't
So
want to
good.
play with those PS2 graphics. I'm above that now.
They probably did.
Oh my God.
did.
And when you think about the Prince of Persia, just how like agile he was able to climb everything. I was like, I know this inspired Uncharted and Assassin's Creed. I could be completely wrong, but that's what it seems like to me. But yeah, so Tylen Lannister is there. And we know that in the previous episode, maybe not the previous one, I forget which one, but pretty much Aemon wanted him to form an alliance with the Triarchy to break Corlys's blockade of the Gullet.
Yep.
And pretty much they're just kind of like Tylen, they're saying that the money Tylen is offering them is not enough. They're like, listen, we don't need to like fight Corlys to get the barricade off the blockage because we make a lot of money selling our tapestries and other things.
Exactly. They're like, we don't need to go through the blockade. That's preventing you more than preventing us.
Exactly.
You
They
know?
said,
they're like,
you need us more than we need you. And honestly,
yeah. So
what are you saying?
no, but to say Tylen was he had no leg to stand on for the negotiations.
Yeah.
Right. They had all the terms to negotiate.
Yeah.
You know, and he saw that and he was nervous because he didn't know how much authority and leeway he had because they asked specifically for the Stepstones. You know, the Stepstones was the land that the king Viserys fought over.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 20 years
with
ago.
that crazy crab feeder who literally was feeding his victims to crabs. And then Daemon and Corlys went and they got control of the Stepstones again. But one thing, when they said we make enough money on our tapestries and everything, it's like, I believe it. Because the costumes for the people of Essos, and it was beautiful.
They
It was vibrant and well made and lush. It was intricate. It was gorgeous. I was like, I like everything they're wearing. And I think that's also part of like putting a little extra sauce on the episode, you know what I mean? And just making it look really good, you know? And I'll get into why I think that's kind of confusing because it's like how the way the episode ended and how the way it looked, I expected more because it's like, y'all really made it look so beautiful, you know, like so very cinematic for it to have a cliffhanger ending. I was like, okay. But, yeah.
no, you're right.
Yeah. But it,
So,
oh,
no, I was just going to say that that the writers and the set designers, they wanted to make Tylen Lannister as uncomfortable as possible. And some of the things they said that they did to make them uncomfortable was having them sit on the floor, having them sit like having them wait for a long time. Like everyone was like all in the same room, you know. It wasn't
so
as
many
grand
people,
as-
and it's hot, and he's wearing such thick, heavy clothing. He was sweating bullets.
And a monkey walked in.
Yeah, did you thought that monkey was real? I was like, the monkey's not real. What did you think?
The monkey was real.
That monkey not freaking real.
The monkey was Will. Yep.
It was Will?
They had the monkey really in the shot.
It was a real monkey?
They trained the monkey.
You know, you have factual evidence that this is a real
100%.
monkey. All right,
That's the real monkey.
You a real monkey.
The monkey's real.
But all right.
No, the monkey walked in and actually, the actor who played Tylen.
I thought you were going to say the actor who played the monkey. The monkey got credits.
The actor who played the monkey. Mary.
He has a trailer. You literally told the same joke I just told. Very creative.
Anyway, so
Married a monkey. Yeah, at least I've been acting.
Now you made me lose my point. Yeah, he was afraid of the monkey. And he was worried that the monkey would
So
come
they
to him
set
or
people
whatever.
on fire, release animals that the actors are afraid of just to get that reaction.
Just to get the reaction. It's funny.
I'm not going to work for Game of Thrones. If I ever had the opportunity, no. I know how y'all treat people just to get the shot. No. I'm
Are
good.
you surprised though? Because how they treat the characters in the story, not even the actors, just the characters in the story is also pretty.
You think
Pretty
you think it's
vicious.
illuminating. I know it's based off the book, but it's like, yeah, it's like if y'all treat y'all characters this bad, then I don't think it's too crazy that like the actual people who portray these characters are kind of treated badly. Just imagine. Oh, you would be uncomfortable. So we have a monkey here that just makes
Yeah.
what?
For what? For what? For what reason?
Just to make him uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's a good enough actor to accurately display that comfort without having a monkey. Monkey rip people's faces off.
They said that. They was like, oh, the monkey's nice. Just don't look him in the eye or he'll bite your
Oh,
face.
Jesus. I heard about this one trip. Literally ripped somebody's butthole out.
That's the person's problem. That's their fault. Why you have your butthole near a monkey?
I don't know what happened. I forget the story. I think it was one of those purple people who was like shacking up with the monkey.
And how you rip a butthole out?
I didn't think
That's like,
buttholes. Oh, what's the proper term?
I didn't know it
His,
had a sphincter.
sphincter. Yeah, he ripped his ass out.
Oh.
Bit off a few fingers. Yeah, he did a number. I don't trust monkeys. But yeah, so they want the stepstones, and I'm like, that's a big deal because as we said before, the stepstones is a very crucial part when it comes to trade. And you know, lately, well, before when they had control of the stepstone, they were like just being pirates. You know, they know people will come there and then just wait for the opportunity and then just take all their stuff and seize their ships and
Do pirate stuff, you know.
they understand. Like Thailand was hesitant to give them the stepstones because it's like, okay, we just got the stepstones back not too long ago. And also, I know you guys, they said they won't do any piracy, but they said they're going to charge a small tax. And he's like,
The pirate's like, yeah, we're not going to pirate.
Right.
The pirate's not going to pirate.
you know, their fingers
They're
is
going
crossed
to.
behind their backs.
Fingers are crossed.
They want their doubloons. They want their booty.
They want their booty.
So, and he was like, well, even so, like that act of having someone to go through the stepstones, you know, like the process of like having to pay a tax to go through the stepstones is going to make the goods and services themselves more expensive too. And all they said was, listen, do you want an armada or not?
Exactly. You want your people to starve or not? And he had no
rebuttal.
no rebuttal. He had no more bargaining power, you know? So he had to kind of just accept it. And he thought he was done, and he got up, and it was like...
Finally got up. He said, I just want to take a bath, get out this heat. Yeah.
Get some wine. And they're like,
I want wine now. Oh, God.
You got to meet our commander.
Yeah. You have to meet
right?
him.
And him. And she was him.
She was him. She was
She
him.
was.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, the fact that this woman, and I think they call her him because it's
Lohar?
like Lohar, Admiral Lohar. They said that the sailors are fiercely loyal to him. If he does not lead them, they will not fight. So it's just like, I think the fact they call him is because she is so much of a conqueror. She's so victorious in battle, so ruthless, that her gender doesn't matter anymore. You can be a man if you want to.
Maybe this also...
Well, she's not limited by her gender. She's pretty much a man.
Maybe this is also a diversion point from the Westerosi's culture. You know?
Okay.
Where in the Westerosi's culture, a woman being a commander is unheard of.
Exactly.
You know, they're already having a whole war because they don't think she could be queen, you know, and rule. And now he's about to follow a woman into battle, which is also made him uncomfortable. You saw how he did a double take when she walked up. And she ended up beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
In
So
the
they
mud
had a
pit, like-
slutty mud wrestling competition. I was like, what is this? Girls Gone Wild? And yeah, his mouth was very bloody. But in the end, he won the battle. He won, and he proved himself.
He won. He proved himself so much that she was like, I want you to have my children and bang all my wives.
Yeah.
And
I
he was like, how
literally-
many wives you got?
I'm just like, I was like, oh yeah, she that bitch. She said she has war trophy wives, James. She has war trophy wives. I was like, I love it. I love this. Rhaenyra needs to go to Essos. She's so worried about Westeros. Go to Essos.
Go to Essos, exactly. Run the pirates.
You just come up there with a dragon. You know, you won't be able to beat Lohar in combat, but you have a dragon. I could see her being like, well, I could see her trying to fight the dragon. And
Yeah, no, she's wild. She might actually steal the dragon. It might be the first case in history where she could steal a dragon.
you know, real rap, like I said, Rhaenyra's that girl the power she showed last episode.
With calming Vermithor.
I'm just so mad because I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but I still got a call. So I'm like, what is this? This spam keeps calling me every day. But yeah, it's on Do Not Disturb. So why that? Whatever. But yeah, the power and the what's the word? The authority she showed, like you said, with Vermithor was impeccable. But I feel like if Lohar was a Targaryen, she'll have 6. They'll all,
6 dragons.
yeah, they'll all bend the neck to her.
Bend the neck.
Bend the neck. You saw they bend their little neck. They go like, "Hey, ride me, I like you." They bend their little neck.
That's funny. So moving on, right? So
To Sharp Point.
to Sharp Point. What's wrong with your boy, Mary?
I don't know. That's not my boy. He is.
He's your boy.
No. Who's my boy? Damon kind of is my boy.
But Vhagar
yeah.
and Aemon really went up and just burned a small town just because he was pissed. Just because he was mad. Just because.
And my point is, it's like, so we saw on the map, we know that the Greens, and I forget which episode, but Christian Cole and his men, they took over Rosby.
Episode 4, probably.
Yes, they run Rook's Rest. They run Duskendale. They pretty much have so many different castles they conquered between King's Landing and Dragonstone, pretty much leaving Rhaenyra like trapped in Dragonstone if she didn't fly a dragon, because everyone around her has sworn fealty to the Greens. And I think Sharp Point was kind of the last, what's the word for that? Like the last stronghold.
The last stronghold. I don't really think so. I don't think so. I think Shark Point wasn't a stronghold. Shark Point was just a small town.
Did they
people who mind their business.
I don't think Sharp Point pledged to anyone yet. I don't know.
No, it wasn't strategic at all. He just went and destroyed those niggas because he was upset. He didn't do it for war. He did it because he was pissed.
Okay, I'm on Esquire, and the article literally says House of the Dragon finale. What is Sharp Point and why did Aemon burn it?
Yeah.
So entertain the people while I read this, James.
So Aemon is a sociopath. And I believe that he burned Sharp Point simply because he felt
okay, listen.
fear.
It's I'll continue your thought, and I'll tell you what this article says.
No, I think he burned it because he was embarrassed. He thought.
Oh no, they explained it, James. They
all-powerful.
explained it. They explained it in the episode. We forgot, but keep going. They did explain it.
Okay.
So
go
according to
then.
showrunner Ryan Kondo, Aemon's attack is a bit more strategic than we thought. In the Inside the Episode video following the season 2 finale, Kondo explains that it's not just Aemon lashing out. It's a strategic act because Sharp Point is the seat of House Massey, who serves on Rhaenyra's council. Kondo says it's a punishment to them for siding with the Pretender. So that was Rhaenyra's stronghold. Yeah, they said that in the episode too. Nah, was that episode? No, I heard that on Inside the Episode too. Yeah. So there was a point to that. So yeah, so that was pretty much the last place they had to go. You know, besides like Driftmark and like yeah, that's about it. And Aemon
Harrenhal
burned it. And Alicent later on, she said something so. She was like, "You like pretty like what she keeps saying like." This dude is just, he's so freaking dumb. Like, you literally want to be the lord of these people, but you burned them on a whim.
Yeah, she said that. She said, I think I had it down.
Yeah, she said, you wish to rule the 7 kingdoms, but you rain ruin and death upon its small folk when you've been insulted.
Yeah.
And it's like, even like, later on in the show when Ironrod finally figures out about Rhaenyra's Dragon Rider draft, He tells Aemon, he's like, hey, so Rhaenyra sent some fishing vessels to come and pick up people who are Targaryens and take them to become riders. And like you said, James, he thinks such in a short term. What was Aemon's solution to this?
He said we're gonna basically inspect every boat that comes into the harbor.
Which is going to
And
do
they're
what?
like, it's gonna slow down even further the food intake.
Exactly.
He's like, you're gonna stop people bringing in food for subsistence. He's like, they don't need subsistence. They need to survive.
Well,
like,
he pretty
your
much,
people are dying.
yeah, he said pretty
They're
much like,
starving.
oh, if Rhaenyra comes, they won't have to worry about dying. And it's like, but what about right now? You keep thinking about these hypothetical townspeople. If Rhaenyra comes, you are the Prince Regent right now. What are you doing for them now? The people who are in the here and now.
Yeah. Just because you have a name doesn't mean that you can lead. And he cannot lead. He's a sociopath. And
How angry do you think, like, if someone took your eye and you felt, well, no, he was, like, he took his eye, and I was about to say, if someone took your eye
killed
and
him.
and you felt like you never received justice for it, but I'm like, Vhagar literally ate him in his dragon in one chomp. What more do you want?
no, he's insane. And then the next scene, right, when
At King's Landing.
it's at King's Landing, right? Larys walks in to Aegon. He's like, "Yo, bro, we gotta go.
Yeah, he said we out.
We gotta go. We out.
Pack your stuff.
Right? He was like, the Blacks got 3 more dragons, and he's like, impossible. Yeah, your brother thought so too. Your brother just burned down a town for no apparent reason, and he's coming to kill you. And we need to go flee to Bravos. And Aegon is so depressed, Joe. Aegon's sitting there. He's like, his penis bursts like a sausage on a pit.
On the spit. I was like, is this dark humor? I was like, am I supposed to laugh or
I was
feel bad?
dying, yo.
I was like, no, this is
Then
dark
he was
humor.
like, I can't. I pissed on my leg.
He said, I can't go to the bathroom without it running down my leg.
On my leg. I was rolling on the floor, yo.
Oh my, he said, my penis burst like a sausage on a spit. I said, wow. Because you know a hot dog is dumb when it bursts. When the butt bursts, I was like, his
the butt burst.
his wee wee went like poop, shoop, like it exploded.
Crazy.
Exploded just like
Joe.
Rhaenys and Meleys. Oh man,
Exploded.
yeah. And it was just there was this one when Larys told Aegon that Rhaenyra has obtained 3 new dragon riders. The camera panned out to show Aegon in bed so you can get the full shot of him, and he said, so what was the fucking point in all this then? And it's just like, it's saying like, what was the point of him going out, getting demolished by Vhagar, like the state he is in now, with a broken penis and a burnt face and just being weaker and just a shell of himself. It's like, it was not worth it.
Yeah, he even with his penis exploding, right? He can't even have any more heirs, right? So the bloodline dies with him anyway. So he's like, what is the point? What's the point?
Because my thing is, he himself can't have any more heirs. He'll just have to give whatever he can to Aemon, or maybe, it wouldn't go to his other. No, Aemon
He only got the daughter and Helena.
Yeah, so
That's
it'll.
it. He's not gonna give the crown
he has
to-
the other
to-
dude.
to-
He has Daemon, not Daemon, Daeron.
That's his brother.
Yeah, that's his brother who was stowed away at Old Town. Yeah, I forgot
Well,
about
for all
him.
we know, he could be a sociopath too.
For all we know, he could be a bastard. He could be Cole's kid.
That's true. He could be anybody.
Because I don't remember them talking about this boy at all. I don't remember it.
I don't even remember little him.
Exactly. I don't
They ever
remember
showed
little
him.
him, so I don't remember what hair color he had. Like I don't know when
I
he
feel
was
like the
born.
writer just forgot about people and it was like, oh yeah, there's one other person.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
So what got Aegon to agree to leave him with Larys was coming up with all these monikers like Aegon,
Yeah, his
the
epithets.
Rebuilder, right? Aegon,
Aegon, the realm's delights.
the realm's the light. And that's what he sat there and smiled,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it just shows like how his priorities are still kind of effed
He
up.
still liked his ego to be stroked a little bit.
Yes, he does.
You know what I mean? But
Even though his penis can't be stroked.
the first time he actually started, you said, "Wow." I mean, it could be stroked. He just probably won't feel nothing. But this is the first time that Aegon seemed like a king to me. Like when he didn't want to leave, he said at first he was like, "Listen, take me to the throne room, and when Aemon comes back from Sharp Point, we'll have him arrested." You know, and I was like, okay. He was like, I am the king. Why am I going to run? Like, I'm going to stay right here. And I was like, okay, Aegon, I see you. But then Laris made a good point. He was like, okay, but without Vhagar, what are you going to do when Rhaenyra and her 6 dragons come knocking on King's Landing's door? You have no one. Sunfire, Dreamfire. Helena and Dreamfire do not want to fight. Your dragon is dead.
Yep.
So it's like, it's so cute how Helena's dragon is Dreamfire and his dragon is Sunfire. I don't like how they be fucking, but every time I see Helena, I'm just like, aren't you mad at your mother for making you sleep with your brother? Your full-blown brother. Like, y'all had the same mom and the same dad. Ain't no step, ain't no half. Ugh, but
gross.
Yeah, but so I do you think he should leave? Well, of course, you know now that he should leave.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought that he should leave. I thought that Laris was very smart for trying to get him out of there, and immediately
for getting him well enough to get up and walk on his own.
To get him walk out on his own to get out.
Yeah.
Right. He knew because he just a sitting duck right there.
Yeah.
Right? It was just only a matter of time before Aemon came up and just smothered him.
Exactly.
You know, like I can imagine Aemon having Vhagar come into his room sometime.
Come into my room.
Just like
come into my room. You know that gospel song?
That old song, I do.
It's like Jesus is my. It's like Vhagar is the destroyer. Like, if a dragon came into my bedroom when I'm sitting on my bed, what like? Wow.
So moving on. All right. Do you know how? So one scene was very annoying, and they kept showing it the whole show.
Rhaena,
and that was
the most boring of all the characters in the whole Game of Thrones saga.
Yes, it's just so boring, just stumbling over and falling, trying to get the dragon. And they just showed it for 15 seconds because that's all we could take. But it was 15 seconds too much.
Like, I understand. They're like, hey, this is not an easy thing for her to do. She literally had to starve and go thirsty to get the... We don't give a damn. Make it more interesting. We don't care. This is so boring. This storyline is so boring. I'm just tired of her looking sad and forlorn. Exactly. Boo-hoo, I don't have a dragon. Shut up. You're rich.
So, speaking of rich, right, we go back to... I don't know.
She's a princess.
Dragonstone.
I never know damn princess.
No, we go back to Dragonstone, right? And Hugh and the other riders, they sit at dinner.
Oath and Adam.
And Oath acts like an oaf, yo. He just sit up there like...
He's uncouth, arrogant, and annoying.
Yes, he is. He's just sitting with his feet on the table, hanging out, and then... Jace walks in and he's like, "You're like, okay, boy, like
how you so dumb that you don't know that you're talking to literally the air."
Exactly, and he was like, "Oh, your hair is as dark as they say,"
and ruffled Jaehaerys's hair. What is wrong with you?
Yes, and she was like, "We're cut from the same cloth."
Mm-hmm. And you know, Jace was pissed because that's the last thing he wants to hear.
Yes, remember Toy Story with Forky? He was like, "You're just like me."
Trash.
He was talking to Woody. Trash. You're just like me, a bastard.
You know, that's I was thinking about the other Toy Story, Toy Story 1, where Buzz did not know that he couldn't accept the fact that he was a toy. And Woody looked at him like he done lost his mind, shook him by his shoulders and said, "You are a toy." So I just imagine Oath going to Jason and be like, "You are a bastard."
Why is both of our comebacks are both references as Toy Story?
Because Toy Story is an impeccable, great movie. It's so good. Like I watched it again. It was a while ago, but still, Toy Story, the first one is just, it was just so new. The idea I don't think I've seen anything like it before. Maybe the Indian in the cupboard. Do you remember?
Wasn't no with G.I. Joe?
No, but just the idea of toys coming to
Small
life.
soldiers.
Small
Remember
soldiers.
Small soldiers.
So what's the Indian
Was
in
that
the
before
cupboard?
Toy Story? Indian in the cupboard was also probably a racist. Now we think about it.
They had little,
Where it
you
had
know,
a cowboy.
they had like
They had
cowboy and
little
little
toys,
Native
and they put it in
Americans.
a cupboard,
Yeah.
and then they bring it out, and then he turns into
A real person.
people.
Okay, so it was like life size. Okay, so I guess it is more like Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers came out in '98.
Toy Story came out when?
Toy Story probably came out in '97. Toy Story came out in '95.
Hey, Toy Story did it first. It taught me how to treat my toys better. Toy Story isn't. It's so near and dear to my heart.
You said Indian in the cupboard?
Yeah, I think it's called the Indian in the cupboard.
Indian. Here we go. That came out in '95 too.
So the same year as Toy Story. Mm-hmm. Toy Story was still better.
I don't disagree. But anyway, let's get back to this. After our
Real
little
quick,
pivot.
I'm just thinking about movies that like we because the Indian Cupboard is a movie I know I've watched. So was Small Soldiers, but I don't remember anything about it. Do you remember Babe?
The pig movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Babe was based off Charlotte's Web.
I don't think it was. Charlotte's Web was its own thing. Charlotte was not in Babe. The spider was not in Babe. But anyway, the saying, "That'll do, pig." I'm like, did I get that from Charlotte's Web, even though I never saw the movie, or is that from Babe?
That'll do, pig.
Right? Is that people comment on IG? Is that from Charlotte's Web or Babe? And do you remember Babe? And no, Charlotte's Web and Babe are two different things because there was no spider in Babe. But we can continue. Yeah, Oaf is annoying. Yeah. And then later on, we see Corliss, and Corliss, is talking to Rhaenyra. And, well, one thing about Oaf, going back to him, I think he's going to be a grave liability to the Blacks.
He's immature. I think he's going to panic when the war actually starts. He's all about having fun and living life, and he thinks he hit the lottery, but he also feels like he deserves it.
That's what I'm saying.
And he feels like
I'm not so concerned. Well, I'm not so concerned about the first thing you said, which was my mind is gone today. The cowardice. I'm more concerned about him getting arrogant and being like, "Why can't I get the Iron Throne? I have a dragon."
Oh, I don't think he's gonna go that far.
I don't know. I could, or just doing some slowly, maybe not that far, but slowly trying to assert his own dominance and his own rule, and using, yes, it's his dragon, but I could see him being like, "Oh, I'm a dragon lord. I could do whatever I want," and then Rhaenyra having to put him in line because he's becoming a threat to her.
No, I can see that. I can see how he goes and uses Dragon Lord to get biddies.
Not even something like that. I can
club.
see him doing something more sinister. Like, I can literally see him being like, "Why should I listen to you? I also have a dragon. I'm going to do this." And do, I can see Rhaenyra having to kill him at the end.
I don't see that from his personality. His personality seems more like clownsy, don't take stuff seriously, more than just
But like you said, he got that arrogance.
Power.
I can see that arrogance
I think that,
being unchecked. If went unchecked, I could see that arrogance. He piped up. He got a dragon now. Even when he was talking to Adam at the table, they were talking about Vhagar, and he was like, "Oh, me and Silverwing could take Vhagar. She piped up. Like, she can fight. You should see her." And I'm like, Vhagar?
I think that's what I mean. He's probably gonna go over and die. He's gonna be foolish.
You think he's gonna do an Aegon?
I think that
an Aegon in the Dream. You know how Aegon in Sunfire went out.
Burnt.
Yeah, went out.
Yeah, no, I think he'll do something reckless and either die, most likely, because like you said, I think, or he'll just fly away altogether and just.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to charge my laptop. I don't know how it stopped charging, but yeah. So going to Rhaenyra and Corliss are together. And Rhaenyra thinks she can kind of wait, but Corlys is like, to attack King's Landing, and Corlys is like, now you got to get it when the getting's good, and that's right now.
Yeah, he does. And he also reminds her that even though she doesn't think Helena's a threat, she's a threat because he's as a dragon.
Dreamfire is there.
Dreamfire is there. And the little...
Daeron is coming with his dragon.
With his dragon. So he's like, yo, man, they got 3 dragons over there.
They have 3 dragons.
Don't sleep on them.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on them.
It's a dragon nonetheless. And then Corlys renames the sea snake the Queen Who Never Was. And tomorrow they're going to go battle at the blockade. And this whole conversation between Rhaenyra and Corlys, I'm like, Rhaenyra really ain't she ain't shit. Like, okay, Rhaenys died in battle for her, correct?
Yeah.
And Corlys serves as her hands. And this heifer still smiles in both of their faces, letting them believe that their son is dead. Just because she wanted to fuck her uncle.
They are well past that now. I feel like you're right, that she could just be honest and be like, yo, man, your son's alive and those grandkids ain't yours. And just be honest with them. Just be honest with them. Like those
They think their son is dead. Like, this man is all alone. Yes, he has his other 2 sons. And I love how Alan read him to filth later on.
He did. He basically like, I don't want your help. You ignored me all my life. I don't want your help.
You deadbeat. But anyway. Yeah, and it's just like, Rhaenyra, you really is garbage for that. Like, you can't say, oh yeah, BT Dubs. Later isn't dead. We faked his death because he wanted to go to Pride, as Kevin Olstad said.
He wanted to go to Pride.
Remember in that video with Sea Smoke, they were like, Sea Smoke, you got a new writer. And he was like, what? Later back from Pride? Oh my God. So
that's funny.
Yeah, I'm like...
But no, let's jump over. I know the Alan scene is a little further down, but since we're talking about them, let's jump over there real quick, right? You're right, because the Alan is preparing. He's Corlys's first mate, right? And he's preparing the ship, and he basically is getting ready, and Corlys is trying to make peace with him, and he's like, "Yo, like, you're what he said, you're unapproachable and a little stern, be a little nicer to the crew."
Yeah, he wants him to be more sociable. And Alan's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Exactly. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
What?
Right? Yeah.
And then
He's
Corlys,
like, I didn't want to lead in the first place.
And Corlys has the nerve to say to him, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah. And then even after that, he was like, I didn't mean to offend you. You're dismissed. He's like, dismissed? Mm-hmm. What do you mean I'm dismissed? They went up there and just kept talking to him. He's like, enough. And just kept talking.
I have everything he said. You want me to read it?
Yeah, say it.
So he says, let me speak in an accent.
Please don't.
I'm going to. It's happening. You want to help me?
That's an accent?
Is this the help you offer after all these years? A reminder to be grateful. Do you know what it was like for us? To grow up fatherless? To be sneered upon as bastard? Never sure of the bread to feed us? Do you know what hunger does to a boy? What grief does? Or shame? That's when he said, you could be dismissed. He said, that's what Corlys was like, I'm done. And he was like, I sold fish in the market from cold dawn until sunset, putting my coppers to stave off the cold winter. And I watched the man who sighed me walk past with the sun and air with a fur around his shoulders, choosing sweet meats to eat after supper by the fire. And now that boy is dead. And his sister before him. And the heir that took his place. And now you remember I live. Now you wish to suddenly scatter the crumbs of your favor. I was like, preach. Preach.
That was good. End scene.
Preach. How? Nigga, I'm here starving, and you're here walking around with your friend like, oh, we're so rich. Oh, what would you like, my son? Would you like some?
Let me get sweet meat.
Let's get some sweet meat.
You know how impractical sweet meat is back then?
You can't get no hickory smoked bacon back then.
Hickory smoked, like, sweet meats, like what?
I'm here freezing and hungry, and you just step over me like, common folk.
I'm eating fish.
Come, son.
And drinking piss, and you over here.
Come, son. Let's buy you another fur and get sweet meats to eat by the fire. I'm like, Corlys ain't shit. Oh my God! And all he just had to stand there and eat that.
He did. He did. Daddy issues.
Just to stand there and eat that.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right. So going back.
And you know what? I liked how they waited to the last episode because he's been patient. He said, I serve you because unlike you, I'm a man of honor.
Yeah. Speaking of men of honor and dishonor, back in Harrenhal, right? Daemon is preparing his army. And Sir Broom.
Who?
He's Sir Broom. He was sent over from Rhaenyra.
His name is Sir Alfred.
It's Alfred Broom.
Oh, you're right. Oh, it's raining. I'm going to sleep good tonight.
So Broom basically comes over to see that Daemon has assembled a pretty large army. All right, he didn't do it easily, but he finally got his army right on time.
He's so cocky about it too. Considering all the chaos that you caused to get this army.
All the blood you shed.
Like, dude, you are insane. He's like, ha 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 ha. I have an army. Listen, Sir Alfred had good timing. If he would have came 2 days before, he would have saw the mess. So don't be sitting here all cocky. But Daemon, I can't lie. I love Daemon. The man is ridiculous and arrogant, but still has a sense of humor. Like,
yeah. No, Daemon was one of my favorite characters.
And I don't know if he talked about it, but do you think the Blackwoods at some point, maybe it's too late, are going to feel some type of way of what he did to Willem?
Probably, yeah. Probably, but like they're not going to not. I don't know what they're going to do.
And my thing is, I can definitely see the Blackwoods and the Braggons just being like, I still hate you, right during the Battle of Rhaenyra, and just start fighting each other.
Fighting each other, yeah.
Like, I hate you more than her.
It's on site with them. Definitely it is.
But, yeah, continue.
It definitely is.
Tell the people what happened.
So Sir Alfred Broom, right, he talks to Daemon in the God's Wood.
He was sent over there to get a status report, mind you.
Yes, but instead, he's like, hey, Rhaenyra got good intentions, but we need a king.
You're a man.
If you declare, your man will follow you. And Daemon, you just like you said, if he would have came a few weeks earlier, like he would have found a different status of his army. If he would have came a few days earlier, Daemon would have been like, yeah, you're right. I am going to be king. But Daemon had a change of heart. He went through a lot.
Well, this was before he had the vision of the tree. So when Alfred said that, Daemon was all for it. They was like, you're absolutely right. I didn't see you Daemon was for Alfred coming on his side.
I guess he nodded, but didn't say anything.
No, he was like, I don't figure you a turncoat. He was with it.
Yeah.
This is before Alice showed him what he showed him. But you know what the wind said?
I guess so.
Before Alfred even...
It was like,
traitor.
Traitor.
I was like, is that Voldemort? Traitor.
Is that Voldemort? Voldemort, that's you?
That's you, Vody? But,
Dark Lord.
But, yeah, I was like, wow, that was really trifling. But, yeah. So.
Yeah, so the good thing is, though, is that Simon Strong saw it.
Mm-hmm. I love Sir Simon. I hope they don't kill him.
And he went and told Rhaenyra. Mm-hmm. So why do you think he snitched, Simon?
Because
he was with Daemon this whole time, and you would think that he could easily get behind Daemon.
Well, I think it's because Daemon came, I assume he said the king consort. So yes, I think this whole time he just saw Daemon as a subsidiary,
as a means to Rhaenyra.
Yeah. So it's like when you're taking Rhaenyra out the picture, and I seen all the stuff you did here, it's like, nah, I'm a snitch because this wasn't what I signed up for.
No, I agree.
And I think Simon Strong he don't like betrayal. Like that's why he don't mess with Larys. He's like, I don't like that. Like I am a loyal man. I treat my people well. So if you turning against Rhaenyra, I'm gonna let her know because we don't do that here.
No, even when Daemon was trying to get Tully, Oscar Tully, to turn on his grandfather before he died, he was just basically like, no, that's not what we do here. And he kind of like nodded and was like, yep, that's how we do it. So I think just the honor bound. And also, I think you're right, is that they saw, I think they saw
Daemon as a
he
king,
saw how violent
consort.
Yeah, but he's exactly. But he saw how violent Daemon can be, and how much like turmoil he can take. He's like, "Yo, we don't got no time for this. We don't got time for this."
Like Daemon, you'll destroy us all.
Exactly.
But back.
We want Princess Peach, not Luigi. Okay. Luigi's Mansion.
I'm crying.
Keep the pun going, Mary.
No, I was like, huh? I was like, Damon's definitely not a Luigi. Damon's a Wario.
He's a wild Luigi.
He's a wild Luigi. But yeah. So back at King's Landing, we already talked about Aemon being a dummy and saying, okay, we're going to starve our people even more. But Aemon is there harassing Helena to fight with Dreamfire, and Alicent is defending her. We already said, she was like, he's trying to literally drag her from her room to go and like do what he wants and fight with Dreamfire. And Helena doesn't want to do that. And Alicent was like I said, she was like, you wish to rule the Seven Kingdoms, but you rain ruin and death upon its small folk when you've been insulted, because it makes you feel strong. And now you seek to corrupt your sister of all our line is the most gentle and deserving of your protection. And when she said protection, she like hits him out of frustration. I cracked up. I was like, that's such a mother thing to do. Like, boy, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Like, what? You supposed to protect her. And I was like, that is hilarious. And I did like that, because it's like, yes, he is a Prince Regent. He is terrifying and he has a lot of power. But at the end of the day, that's still his mother. And she's not going to fear him like that.
Exactly.
You came out of my nana boo-boo. And you could go back in if I sucked you.
Oh,
You acting up.
Damon.
Get back in.
Damon trying to go back in.
Damon was trying. Damon went back in. In his dream, he went way in. Oh, that was terrifying. But
So then after that, Alicent was like, I'm tired of this shenanigans. I gotta go. And she goes to Orwell and asks for passage out of King's Landing.
what? But going back to Helena, because Helena is visible in the dream that Daemon has later, we will talk about. What do you think about Helena? Why does she know everything? What do you think is going on with this girl?
I think she's a seer. So apparently there's been other Targaryens who could see the future that weren't the Three-Eyed Raven.
Viserys had visions. That's how he learned about the Song on Ice and Fire, didn't he? Well, he heard of Aegon's dream, and I think he had that same vision too.
I think I can't remember if he had visions or it just was passed down.
Let me see. Google that,
But
John.
definitely, the Targaryens have had visions in their families, and she is a seer, absolutely, right? What did you find?
Okay, it said, according to Google AI overview, yes, King Viserys Targaryen has multiple visions. He has a dragon dream, where Viserys has a dream about his dragon being born wearing Aegon the Conqueror's iron crown. He has the deathbed vision, where Viserys has a vision of his first wife before he dies.
Those seem like dreams.
What was the
I think
prophecy
AI
of
failed us.
Viserys Targaryen? Okay, according to Viserys, the dream indicated that the world of men will end starting with a long winter that begins in the north. So he did have a dream about the Song of Ice and Fire. And I think Aegon the Conqueror had that same dream too. Yes. And that darkness will follow and destroy the world of the living, and Westeros can only survive if a Targaryen is on the Iron Throne. So yeah, he got that. I guess Helena's the same way.
Let's get to that point at the end of the show as a final recap. All right, that last thing. Just put a pin in that for now.
So we're not going to talk about what Alice showed Daemon with Grandmother Willow.
Yeah. No, let's talk about that. Yeah, we could talk about that.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant. But yeah. So you think Helena? She just the gift of, what's it called? The gift of Oracle. The gift of Of
Yeah, I don't know if she can always see into the future, but she definitely has like
no, that's the rule for
like
it.
that's so Raven vision.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely random, and it may be triggered by events, but you don't have any direct control of it. That's that's the caveat about that. You have visions,
Yeah.
but it's so funny. I don't know what show I was watching, and a person had visions, but it was only after the event happens.
That's called a memory.
Exactly. It was something like that. I was like, that is so stupid. Like, but yeah. So moving along, we know that Christian Cole, Gwen, and their men are marching to Harrenhal. And I don't remember, how did Gwen find out about Cole and Allison's affair?
Because he was sitting out there sniffing her handkerchief. The handkerchief, she gave him a favor.
That could just
And
mean
he
he
was
has a
over
crush
there.
on her.
No, it doesn't. The way he was like sniffing her favor.
He literally could just have a crush on her and do that. You never sniff nobody stuff that you like.
Am I a dog?
You never save somebody gum that you had a crush on.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, I never did either. But that's
Helga.
funny. Helga, right? You never
Helga.
made a shrine out of someone's used gum and put it
Helga P. Pataki.
put it in your closet to worship every night before bed.
But he came up and accused her. Basically, like, you're effing my sister.
But
The
how
Lord
did
of
he
the-
know? You think it's just that? I feel like I
Yes,
missed
he's just
something.
that. I think that's not normal. It's not normal for him to be sitting there and
This
sniffing
man
it. She
isn't
probably-
normal. This man is a scary man. One thing about a man who does not give a damn about himself is a danger to everyone.
Yeah.
Did you see his face?
Christian Cole was distraught. He was depressed.
He wasn't though.
He was-
His face was just devoid of any emotion. Which is scarier than distraught and depressed, because that's a deeper level. That's when distraught, depression, and indifference and nihilism.
Yeah.
That's the word. That is giving school shooter. That is giving I'm writing a manifesto, and y'all about to my problems about to become y'all problems real quick.
So Gawain said, "What about the Kingsguard? Like he's like, you have no honor, right?" And he was like, "You need to resist women." And he was like, "Can any man resist women?" He's like, "What about your Kingguard? You know, because they also made a commitment not to be abstinent, right?" And then Cole was like, "Perhaps all men are corrupt, and the honor is a mist that melts in the morning." Right? And I was like, that's kind of a bar.
Remember,
Like,
Allison said that to him. Allison said those very words to him. It was before he was about to march somewhere. No, it was right after he didn't stick up for Allison when she wanted to rule in Aegon's absence. And then she came to him. I don't remember how the conversation started, but she said those very words. Is your honor a mist that melts in the morning? So he was quoting Allison directly. And then he said he looked at Cole, he looked at Gawain. Like I said, his face void of any expression. Scary as hell, saying to die will be a kind of relief, don't you think? I say run for the hills.
Run for the hills. No, man, he said, he was like, the dragons dance and men are like dust under their feet. All our fine thoughts, all of our endeavors are as nothing. We march now to our annihilation. To die will be kind of a relief. And to be honest with you, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He did see
Like-
true horrors at Rook's Rest.
And he has to go back. That's what's terrifying him. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Katniss Everdeen. When she survived the Hunger Games.
And she had to
And
go
then she had to go back
Nigga, I read the book. I had a panic attack with her.
with her.
Because they had like a champion, like a victor's Hunger Games.
A Victor's Hunger Games.
I said, you gotta be kidding me. She was just in the forest hyperventilating. And I'm just like, oh my God, me too. I was like, nah, Katniss.
Like-
That was rough.
That was rough, right? And he had to basically go back. But no, you're right. I think he's kind of over
He's over life. He's over everything.
He's over life.
He kind of is like Allison. He just kind of wants to. Well, he wants to die, but Allison kind of wants the same thing where he just wants to be done with everything. He doesn't care anymore. He just wants to just fade away.
Fade away.
But
So let's skip forward a little bit.
well, talking about going to Essos, one thing I noticed, I'm like, so, because they go to Essos for a second, and that's when they have their mud battle. And one thing I noticed about Admiral Lohar, they're making her such a likable character for us to really like her and I'm like, that can only mean one thing.
They're gonna kill her.
She's gonna die a terrible death very soon.
Yes.
Cause I'm like, they're putting the honey on this character so quick. She's strong, she's funny, she's confident. You're gonna like her. And it's like, oh yeah, they're making a like. They have us liking her in 10 minutes. That's it. She's
Yep.
yeah. But
If you are a new character with too much attention, you're gonna die in Game of Thrones.
yeah, like
Just be ready.
especially too much
Like
positive
if you weren't
attention.
introduced in the first 3 episodes, you're gonna die.
Speaking of Hunger Games, it's like when Rue died. I should have known. This
should've
adorable little girl. Oh, she's so cute and innocent and talented and smart. Of course she's going to get an arrow through her chest.
Yeah, that's how life goes.
Jesus.
That's how life goes.
But all right,
It
I'm gonna
reminded
let
me of that Tupac song, Hellraiser, when he talked about now I gotta get
The
now
little
I got
girl
the
like a
lyrics.
Tasha that had to die.
Yeah.
Her little body couldn't take
But
it.
it's
She
just
took a drop.
He took a drop. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, like Tasha.
but what we didn't talk about I don't know if we didn't talk about Rhaenyra's plan when she was sitting on the council with Adam and was she sitting at dinner with Adam and Bela and Jace, and she pretty much said that her plan was to go to Old Town, where the High Towers are from, and Lannisport, which is a port city right next to Casterly Rock.
Yeah, where the Lannisters are from.
And they're, everyone's like, so we're just going to massacre the innocent. And she has the same way of thinking that Aemon has when they talk about when, Iron Rat tells him inspecting every vessel that comes into King's Landing is going to shorten the food supply even more. And he just pretty much says, oh, but when Rhaenyra comes, they'll be dead. So this is more important. And Rhaenyra's saying, yeah, we're going to kill all these innocent people, but that will prevent us from killing more people later. So this is more important. Like I said, they're always thinking about the hypothetical small folk. They mirror each other. We're always thinking about the small folk in the future, the hypothetical small folk, and not thinking about the present small folk right here that lives in the here and now. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of war, like, they're just war, right? They say, okay, because her idea was to cripple her allies, to isolate King's Landing, and then she can go and conquer King's Landing peacefully. I think she prioritized King's Landing versus Lannisport and
Old
Town, right? Because she's like, oh, I don't like those families anyway. But the problem is that if you go up and burn those cities down, only a matter of time and those people are going to rise back up and 15, 20 years later, and you know what I mean, just to take over, So I think I agree with you. I think it's all short-sighted, and I think it's just the ugliness of war.
They say it's the lesser of two evils, but it's like evil's still evil.
Evil's still evil, and it's also the naivety of like Bela and the other dragon riders. It's like, oh, you expect us to kill innocents? Of course we do. Of course,
yeah.
This is what war is.
This is what war is.
Right? Like if you can go and attack a standing army,
yeah.
fine. But most of the times, even like in modern war times, we're bombing cities.
War
Like,
cannot
that's what
exist
they do.
without the death of innocents.
Exactly. They have to make it painful in order for it to stop.
It never happened. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it is naive of them. It's like, what? What? Yeah, I know this is war.
It's war.
Like, like my thing is we aren't the ones. Yeah, we're fighting, but we have all these men and like it. Yeah, not saying the men are innocent, but it's like what we say when a witch rage war, it's the poor who die. Like war, like, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, so you're right. And, obviously, Rhaenyra's not excited about it. Later on, she goes and questions if it's the right thing to do, But yeah, I think that's just war. So let's get to what I believe to be the most important scene of, like, the episode, at least the episode, maybe the season, right? And this is when Daemon is woken up by the witch Alice, and she leads him to the God's Wood. And he comes out, and she's essentially like, "Are you ready to learn the truth?"
Real quick though, did you also did you also cast a glimpse of that creature? It looked like a satyr.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did look like a satyr. Though, clickety clocking, moving around or so. And Daemon caught a glimpse of him too, and Daemon was like, okay.
He's seen so much, but I'm like,
He's seen so much.
It looked like a goat man to you, right? A satyr, right?
Yeah, no, it looked like a demon or something.
I was like, okay, why a satyr? So I did some research, and I don't know. I'm like, maybe a satyr mirrors Daemon in a sense, because pretty much satyrs are in I don't know if it's
half
Greek
man,
or
half
Roman.
Goat.
Yes, they're half man, half goat. They originally started off as half man, half horse, but then they kind of transformed to the half man, half goat by the Greeks. So, they are descendants of the god Dionysus. I remember I learned about him in school. I'm not sure if I don't remember if he's a Greek god or a Roman god. So I'm just going to say
I think it's Greek.
I think you think he's Greek. Okay, so the god Dionysus, and he's pretty much the god of debauchery. He's the god of a good time, of wine, of woman, of reckless partying. So of course his descendants, the satyrs, follow the same suit. And one distasteful quality about satyrs is that they have an insatiable lust of women, and they raped a lot of women. Like they known to rape women and sea nymphs, and plus because they're so riotous and they're so ready to they're pretty much frat boys on cocaine, that they kind of cause a lot of ruin and destruction around them because they can't control themselves. And I'm like, that's Daemon. Like,
Wow.
that's Daemon.
Yeah.
Like, because Daemon is his actions are because he's trying to have a good time, but he literally has so much chaos because he has such a great lust for the throne. And it's like he went after Rhaenyra because he knew that by her he can get the throne. So it's kind of like that. I don't know, maybe it's a stretch, but
No, actually, I know. It is a little stretch, but I like the connection, right? Because they could have put anything over there. They could have put a dinosaur walking behind a tree.
It looks like a satyr. I could be wrong.
But no, it definitely was a human figure with hooves, because you could hear it clicking and move back, and horns, right? And I think what you said makes sense. Is that Daemon was a lustful individual, right? And
maybe not necessary for women, but he wanted the crown.
I think for
power.
everything.
Yeah,
I think everything, all of it.
And he got in his own way and just caused in his wake was destruction. He just left destruction in his wake. The harder he tried, the worse things got for everyone.
Yeah.
So,
but then he finally turned around, and Alice was like, "You wanted your whole life to basically determine your future, and now you have that chance. Now you're ready."
Well, she said when you first came here, because like you said, he saw the satyr and he didn't even flinch. He's like used to the weird stuff. And Alice was like, when you first came, you were a closed fist. And he was like, pretty much you've grown. Like you understand that there are parts of the world that are greater than us that we will never understand. And I think that was a great segment into what Alice showed him.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And what she showed him, he went and touched the tree. And first
Grandmother
thing I
Willow.
noticed first thing I noticed was there was a face on the tree. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So that face is a rough replica of George R.R. Martin.
How creepy. He
Yeah,
said, y'all
which
gonna
is-
know I wrote this. I'm gonna get in the tree.
Exactly, which is obviously he wrote the series, the whole series.
That's so funny though, because he is literally the author and the finisher of their fates. So of course he's gonna be the Godswood. That show the one happened because this nigga fucking wrote it. He knows.
He wrote
so
it.
if you want to know,
Exactly.
talk to the author. That is genius. That's genius. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's a nice
No,
touch.
you're right. Yeah, it is. And so he touched the Godswood, and it shows a lot of stuff. And I kind of wrote down the key themes of what they showed. First, it was a three-eyed raven, right? Which is this Targaryen man, child, right? I guess it was more like a young man sitting there with a scar on his face, and a three-eyed raven
He was
flies
like
up.
bond to a tree. Like he was like
Bond to a
A
tree,
tree
yeah.
stump had its roots around him.
It's almost as if like the original like it almost like is that root, that tree was the Godswood there. It's like almost like that Targaryen, whoever he was, his soul became the tree. That's my my thing. I think like he kind of became the tree.
You know what
and
that reminds me of?
Pocahontas.
Bone
again?
Swans. Remember that story in Bone Swans? I forget which short story it was, but there was a boy who was murdered by his stepmother.
Oh yeah.
And then when
I
they
do remember
buried
that.
his body,
I do
it
remember
grew
that.
into a tree, and the tree became a god.
I do remember that. Yeah. I do remember.
Honestly, guys, if
Bones-
you love Game of Thrones, read Bone Swans by what is it? C.S.E. Cooney.
C.S.E. Cooney.
It's a-
Yep. It's
If you
It's
love
a
Game
co-
of Thrones, you're gonna love this.
yeah. It's a compilation of short stories. Yeah. No, it is a really, really deep and confusing book. It's beautiful. Though,
Beautifully
the way that-
written and very creepy, which is my two favorite
Very
things.
creepy.
But continue.
Yes. Yes. So after the three-eyed raven, and the boy, they basically go and you see the White Walkers and they're advancing. And it's the first time we see a hint of the White Walkers in this series.
Going back to
And then-
last episode when I asked you, what's the ice? And you said the freaking North. Afterwards, I was like, duh, you idiot. It's the White Walkers.
Yes.
No, you said the North. Don't say that. Don't, I'll kill you, James.
The north,
no,
like the north
White
of the wall.
Walkers. No.
The north of the wall
James,
is the ice.
I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight. Fix
It's
your
the
face.
It's the ice.
Okay, continue.
So then, yeah.
You
so
talking
then,
about the North, not the North of the Wall. You talking about the people of the North. You talking about the Starks, and you know it. Don't play with me, acting all brand new. I have to.
I think the wall is the north.
That's not. You didn't
With
frame
made
it
of
like
ice.
that. You didn't frame it like that last episode. But continue.
So then they showed a dead red dragon.
Looked like Melee's to me.
I thought it might look like Melee's. I thought it might look like, I don't know. It must have looked like Melee's, but it was a dead red dragon and a crap ton of dead people near him. And then after that, it showed.
Okay, real quick. So it might have been Balon's dragon. It might have been Viserys's and Daemon's father's dragon. Because why didn't Viserys have a dragon? We talked about this before, so if you want to just ignore me, we can.
Yeah,
'Cause it was
I
a
don't
big
know.
dragon.
I don't know if he had a dragon or not. To be honest with you,
Viserys did not
He
have a
could have.
dragon.
Viserys didn't lead the castle, so even if he had a dragon, I don't think we.
Well, if Viserys had a dragon, they would have found it a rider. I don't know. Was Viserys' dragon Vermithor? That would have been great. I don't know. They would have said that though. But continue. So it's a dead dragon. I just assumed it was Melee's, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It's a dead dragon, all those dead people, and then, but then it's Daenerys sitting there in the fires as they show 3 dragon eggs, and she's birthing.
That was right after Khal Drogo died.
after Khal Drogo died, and they tried to burn her at stake, and the three eggs were born from the ashes, and Daenerys sits there holding them. And
No,
then
I
it
don't think they
finally-
tried to burn her at stake. I think she went back into the fire to do something, and she saw she was fireproof, and then I think she might have went back in to get the eggs. I don't know. I can't remember. I think something was burning, and I think she went into
Yeah.
a burning encampment or something to do something, and then when they saw she was unburned and they saw the three eggs, they were like, "Oh yeah, you that girl. We're gonna follow you." If I remember
Yeah.
correctly, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So after after that, they pan over to the Iron Throne, and Damon's sitting in the Iron Throne, and upon the Iron Throne is Rhaenyra,
So Damon wasn't
Sitting
sitting
there
in the
with the
Iron Throne. He
crown.
walks into the throne room and sees Rhaenyra on the throne.
and sees Rhaenyra on the throne.
Okay.
Right, and when he woke up, she was like, "Oh." Then
Then he saw Helena.
then Helena.
Yeah.
Helena was like, essentially, you know what to do.
So Helena, I think
She
she
said-
possesses the three-eyed raven too. I think, like you said, it could just be, she has visions, like Viserys
Mm-hmm.
does. But I think she is the three-eyed raven that's just passed down from generation to generations at random.
Maybe she's not yet. Maybe she'll get it eventually.
Maybe she'll become it.
Maybe she'll become it.
I'd like to see
But,
that.
Yeah, but you're right. Because she was like, "You're not like this. You're only part of the story, but now you know your part."
Mm-hmm.
And then he woke up, and Alice was like, "Yeah, now do your part, nigga."
Because she
And
said,
then-
you used to be a man who thought you could pretty much bend the world to your will, and then you learned that the world will not bend to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, exactly.
it's a hard fact to accept when you think you're the main character, but you're not. You're a supporting
Yeah.
actor. It's a
Exactly.
hard pill to swallow, but once it's like basketball. You don't got to be the star,
Yeah.
but you could still be essential to the team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, you're 100% right. 100% right. So it was, as soon as that ended, they went over to Helena, and it looked like that she was looking out at King's Landing, out into the distance, like she just had a conversation, and was looking at her uncle.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Yeah.
And then obviously Aemon came up to her, still trying to
Yeah,
convince her
because
to
I
go to
saw
King's
she was
Landing.
smiling a
The
bit, and I
Harrenhal.
wondered why she was smiling. I didn't
'cause I
peep
think
that
she was-
transition. I love
Yeah.
Helena. Aw.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, like, mom's not a dragon rider. She doesn't understand. We have the burden of protecting our family and protecting the realm. Fly with me." And she's like, "Oh, like you're gonna try to kill me like you killed Aegon?" And then she was like, "I saw you set him afire and let him fall." And I was like, "Oh my God." She is absolutely a seer. And he was so shocked. He was like, "That's treason. I can have you killed right now." And she's like, "It doesn't matter. Aegon is going to be upon the wooden throne, and you will be dead in the God's Eye." And ironically, the God's Eye, well, I guess, not ironically, but the God's Eye is a river that's right in front of Harrenhal. So essentially she's saying you're going to die in the battle of Harrenhal. You go to Harrenhal, you're going to die right near the river.
I didn't peep that.
Yeah.
I thought the God's
And-
eye was George R. R. Martin's eye.
If you look at it sideways, it probably looks like him too.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So the wooden throne, right? So her prediction that Aegon is going to be king again. Do you feel like can we
said
fully
that.
believe?
She said that.
Yeah. Do you think
I don't
we
remember
can
her
fully
saying that.
trust her visions?
Absolutely.
Or do you think so you think that he's actually going to be the king again?
I think we can fully trust her visions. I think we can't fully trust our interpretations of her visions.
Because she said a wooden throne. She said iron throne. She said on a wooden throne. So what I first thought was how Bran was on that
Brand the
wooden.
Broken, yeah.
He was on that wooden wheelchair.
Who made him that? Was it was
Doing a cat
did
daddy.
Tyrion make it for him? when he was a young boy, I think Tyrion had someone.
Tyrion gave him a saddle.
He did give him a saddle. Okay.
He gave him a saddle that he can sit up on.
Okay, yeah, he did.
But he's like, I got a soft spot for broken things or something like
Broken things and bastards.
that. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. What's next?
So next so Rhaenyra and Adam fly into Harrenhal, pretty much was to find what's coming, like what's been going on, and Daemon says it. You know, she's like, "What are you doing? Like, what's going on?" And Daemon is finally on the same page. He says, "This war is just the beginning. Winter is coming with darkness and doom." And I'm like, he gets it. He finally sees the bigger picture and notices this is bigger than all of them, and they have a crucial role in this, even if it means their death. He said, "I am meant to serve you and all those with me until death or the end of my story." I said, "Come on, Daemon. Can we talk about character arc?"
Yeah. No, he's been tripping for a while.
For 6 episodes,
Yeah.
this man been tripping.
For 6 episodes.
And it paid off. It paid off.
Yeah.
But DQ said something last episode. He's not really a fan of the visions and the pretty much the haunting of Daemon Targaryen. He thinks he thinks that he thinks there can be a more interesting or creative way to show character growth other than Daemon literally being haunted by his past. And I'm like, I can see that. Because sometimes when the storyline went back to Daemon and, you know, he was in Luigi's mansion, I was a little bored, you know?
Yeah, after a certain, like, it became like a little of a bit.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, what's freaking out Daemon now?
Like, it was shocking
You
the
know,
first
even-
few times, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, even on the show, we made it like a bit, like, back to Ghostbusters, you know?
Still 1,000 times more interested in Rhaena's storyline, though.
Yeah, no, Rhaena, you know, I don't even care. So
Rhaenyra
This-
pretty much tell him, "Leave me again, and that's your ass."
exactly. And he was like, I can't, I tried. It didn't work. So
And they
let's
almost
jump
kissed,
a little.
but then they remember that they're in front of everyone. And I was like, that's kind of it. Like, I want to ship them, but y'all related, so it's like
Yes, exactly. It's nasty. It's nasty. So let's jump forward to where Alicent meets Rhaenyra. Right, she goes and
And that made me
makes it
think
to
of what you
Dragonstone.
said. What is the security in these castles? Because y'all can
The
just
trash.
get up. Y'all can just get up in these
You just-
people's houses. Like,
They just go what you
why
want.
are y'all
Just trash.
strategizing Aemon coming if apparently any old body can just want what? Yeah, why y'all strategizing
Like, she
how to get
coulda-
to King's Landing?
Like, she could have easily just went up there with a bomb and be like, boom, and then that's it. End of the war.
Except they didn't have
You know what I
bombs
mean?
back then. No, they had green fire. Remember that
They had
nasty?
green fire.
Was it called green fire? What
It was
what Cersei used to blow up her son's wife she ain't like?
Yeah, I think it was all fire, something like that. It was green fire though. But anyway, yeah, she could have did any sort of like assassination attempt, but instead she was just like asking for peace.
Wildfire.
When it was way too wildfire. Asking for peace when it was way too late. Like literally, like we saw that Rhaenyra tried to do the same thing, and Alicent was basically like, "Bump that, you're too late," because she had the upper hand. And now that Rhaenyra has the upper hand, you know, like, and Rhaenyra, you know, Eileen and I were laughing at how smug she
Yes, I love her attitude. She's smug, sarcastic. I told you so, written all over her face. Just there with crossed arms, like, "No, I'm gonna let you talk."
was. That's good for you.
Yeah, she was just like, you know, I went outside the castle walls and my mind was clear. And she was like, "How lovely for you. What do you want?"
Exactly.
Like,
What do you
I don't
want?
care
Like,
about
why
your
are you
eat,
here?
pray, love moments. What are you here for?
What are you here for? Right?
And Alicent
And-
admits that she was jealous of Rhaenyra because
She did,
what she
finally.
wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Finally. She finally admits that she was jealous.
She
Right.
and you know she said to you know because Alicent admit that she took on a lover, And Rhaenyra was like, oh, you took on a lover. And Alicent was like, no, don't even try that because you be fucking everybody. And Rhaenyra was like, yeah, but you made virtue your banner. And Alicent was like, and I clung to it in defiance of you, who I think disdained it. So it was just jealousy. And like I said, I get it. I get it. You know, if you, let's say it's like you go to class all the time. You study, you work hard, you have a tutor. Your friend's never there. She gets an A in the class and you fail. Mm-hmm. It's like that. It's like, what do you mean? Why don't the rules apply to you in the way that they apply to me?
Exactly. No, you're right.
But
you're right. Alicent was definitely the straight A student, and Rhaenyra was like, school what?
Yeah, literally. But one thing that Alicent said that made me go like, what? And I want to see how you feel about it. So Alicent claimed that it was Viserys' love for his wife that led him to choose Rhaenyra to be his heir. I don't know if I really agree. I think he did it more so to smart Daemon after that whole little heir for a day fiasco. But I went back and I watched a clip from season 1, and Viserys did say to Rhaenyra, you are the very best of your mother, and I believe it. I know she did, that you could be a great ruling queen. But do you think it was his love for her, or was it more to spite Daemon?
No, actually, you said that in season 1. That makes sense. I think we could take Alicent's word for that. You know, because he didn't necessarily want to spite Daemon until Daemon pissed him off at the very end.
But that's the best way to spite him. He knows that's what Daemon wanted the most. And when he told Rhaenyra that she is his heir, the first thing she said is Daemon is your heir. And like I said, I believe this happened right after, that whole king for a day rumor got to him. And after he banished Daemon.
Yeah.
It could be both. Two things can be true.
Two things could be true.
Yeah.
So Alicent comes up with this wild plan. She's like, look, Aemond is coming to Harrenhal with Sir Cole. And when he goes, since he's the Prince Regent and he's and like ruling right now, when he goes, Helaena will be the head of the castle.
King of the castle.
That's when I need you to fly in. We'll have all our soldiers drop their swords. We tell them, red light.
Chill. Red light.
Chill. Right, drop the swords. We let you walk in. You take the throne. And then you could take Aegon and just like make him bend the knee. Aegon can't bend anything, but he's going to bend his knee.
Can't bend
and
that
she's
dick,
like,
that's
even
for sure.
now, so even now, you still defend him, right? Like, she said, I need to go and take this man's head in front of everybody.
And you know this.
And you know it.
But one thing that Rhaenyra said, that was like, really, girl, ain't that the pot calling the kettle pitch black? She was like, pretty much when she said, what if Aegon? Alicent was like, he's not even a threat anymore. He's been burned. He'll listen to me. I can persuade him to swear loyalty to you. And Rhaenyra said, you still think you can get whatever you want without having to pay a price. And I said, girl, what? You the queen. It's crazy to me. Rhaenyra, you are the queen of getting what you want and not expecting to pay a price. That's why you got bastards to prove it. You thought you could sleep with everybody and not get pregnant with some bastards? Like, you literally, this war started because of you in part. You wanted to do whatever you want. So I was like, wow, this is hypocrisy at its finest, but all right.
Like, she thinks she could have a war without killing innocents. Like, she really does think you have your cake and eat it too.
That's both of y'all. And it's like, I know it's your cake, but come on. Like,
yeah, I don't get the thing either.
Like, I get it. Like, of course, literally, if you want to physically have possession of a cake, you can't eat it. But it's like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. First of all, cake is for eating, and it's my cake. I think we can think of a better metaphor.
A better analogy.
Yeah, analogy. Yeah. But yeah, you can continue. Yeah, so that was, and what did after a pause, after some tears, and just a heartbreaking realization, what did Alicent agree to do?
A son for a son.
A son for a son. That was episode 1. The title of episode 1.
A son for a son. And do you think it's worth it?
Absolutely not. What's the I don't honestly, if I had kids, even the people I love, this may be a bit dramatic, but what's good is the world if the people I care about don't live in it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
agree.
care. I'm not putting my son in danger to, even if we all end up dying, even if a dozen people end up dying, it won't be, my son's death will not be by my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I agree.
but still, Alicent says, come on to King's Landing in 3 days' time and we'll get it started. And,
So, do you think that Alicent knew that Aegon wasn't going to be there because he could sneak out with Larys?
I don't believe so. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, so in 3 days' time, when Ray comes and Aegon not there, will she see it as a betrayal on Alicent's part and this all go left?
She will. Yeah, she'll kill her.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just...
She'll kill her.
But Alicent says something that I liked. She said, because when Rhaenyra was like, if you do this, if you let me be on the Iron Throne, people are going to say, you tried so hard and got so far, and in the end, it didn't even matter. Like, they're going to say, you are the queen who wanted
What's up with Lincoln Park?
That is Lincoln Park. They got some bangers, y'all. But, yeah, it's just like, you did all this and for what? Like, it's embarrassing. And she's like, let them tell them. They can say whatever they want. She said, I am at last myself, with no ambition greater than to walk where I please and breathe the open air, to die unremarked and unnoticed, to be free. And I was like, that sounds like a lovely place to be. And then impulsively, she asked Rhaenyra to come with her, and Rhaenyra's taken aback. I don't even think Alicent thought those words would come out of her mouth. They kind of just fell out of her mouth, like, come with me. Mm-hmm. And it just reminded me of when they were teenagers, like I said, when they were in King's Landing and they were on the grass and Rhaenyra's head was in Alicent's lap. And she just said, I don't care about the lords and ladies or any of this stuff and the throne. I just want to fly with you on Dragonback and see the world. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's kind of sweet that even through all this, they still want the same thing. They still have that same childhood innocence of, I just want to be with you and everything's going to be okay. It's just, we can leave this all behind if we have each other. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's sweet.
Yeah, it should have happened earlier.
It should have, but it's like, and I think that's kind of the difference between having such a female-centered story. It's just like, I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know how to explain it. There's just a lot. We get a lot more moments of like tenderness. And I do like that, and just genuine love and concern for one another. But, yeah, they can't be Thelma and Louise because Rayway got a...
They can't be what?
They can't be Thelma and Louise because Rayway...
Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise, you don't know them? You never heard the story of Thelma and Louise? What's wrong with you? No, it's these two women who run away together. They're in abusive relationships and they commit crimes to survive, and then they become fugitives of the law. And instead of being captured, they drive off the Grand Canyon together.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. It's a crazy